just a few days past, Fitz and I were discussing and analysing the current client base we have, what kind of programs people are running on the app, results based on a survey we sent people who are currently running the app. And something that became quickly apparent to us was we have a large cohort of people that we knew we had. We had lots of weightlifters, a nice split between weightlifters, strength athletes, and sports athletes, so field sports, track and field, grappling, endurance. Very nice split between all of those, but it quickly became apparent that there was a very large fourth group, and a huge desire for this was the hybrid athlete style athlete. Now, when we think of hybrid athlete, sometimes we think, or most of us will think, running and lifting, which is a fair assessment of a lot of hybrid athletes, but there's another group of hybrid athletes who want to be much more well-rounded in certain specific areas. They don't particularly care to be very good endurance athletes. They want to be pretty fast, they want to be powerful, they want to be strong, and they want to be in good shape. They want to have muscle mass and low fat mass. So I hear people respond to this sometimes, and I hear reels and I see people saying that, oh, this was just called fitness back in the early day, or they used to just do this, but there was never a general population of people who did this. Athletes certainly did this 10, 15 years ago, and before that, professional athletes, people who were paid to be athletes. But the general population was never in a state where people wanted to be sprint faster, run for longer maybe, definitely be more jacked, have good jumps, be strong at the lifts in a meaningful manner. This was just not something that existed. And we looked at the most popular program that people run on the app, and that is becoming a horse program. Now, the horse program is something that is focused on getting jacked, being stronger at the lifts, and being better at jumping. And very frequently, in association with that, people run a conditioning program and try and be in a better, well-rounded shape. While discussing this, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Do we need to be more specific with programs? Do we need to make better content for these style of people who want to understand more about how they might train for that? But on the drive home, I quickly became apparent to myself that it would appear that I too am some form of hybrid athlete. Now, this is not something I plan to do. In my mind, I am a weightlifter who does jiu-jitsu. But if you look at the style of training I do, and this might already be apparent to some of you watching this, but it's not something I had thought about up until quite literally yesterday, is the fact that apparently I am also a hybrid athlete, and it is something that sprung up on me. So if we look at jiu-jitsu twice a week, weightlifting style movements 3 times a week, hypertrophy work twice a week, squatting twice a week currently, sprinting twice a week, jumping twice a week, and then stationary cardio between 4 to 5 times a week on top of that. So very well rounded, certainly not just a weightlifter. Currently I don't clean and jerk, largely because of injury, but also because I'm massively enjoying the style of training that I'm doing at the moment. So I want to get in better shape, I want to run faster, I want to jump higher, I want to be really good at snatching, I want to keep my squat at a pretty high level currently, and then I also want to become a bit lighter, and I also want to become a lot better at jiu-jitsu and keep progressing through that journey of the jiu-jitsu belts. So there's a lot of goals that I'm focusing on there, and it was just something that I never really thought about. And while I wouldn't say this is the most I've enjoyed training, because I really enjoyed other parts of my training, and if I were to say that phrase, that this is the most I've ever enjoyed training, it would do disservice to the fact just how much I've enjoyed all of my training throughout the years. I don't think there's ever been a year where I didn't absolutely love training. So what I would say is I love training now as much as I have ever loved training. There's a different form of intensity, and to be honest with you, a lot of those sessions are pretty easy compared to weightlifting. Sprinting sessions, jumping sessions, bodybuilding sessions, they're all very easy compared to the sport of improving weightlifting. The sessions that require the largest amount of mental resources for you at the moment is the snatch sessions. They're the ones where I have to think about the session beforehand. I need to be a little bit more diligent with what's going on. Jiu-jitsu is fun and engaging, and I train hard, but nothing compares to that snatch and clean and jerk. So this might be the most enjoyable training has been for me, but maybe not my favorite training, because I would say they're all equal. Now, for example, last year I spent essentially about 6 months of the 11 months pushing for the squat, almost exclusively squatting. I kept up jiu-jitsu twice a week. It became very uncomfortable to jiu-jitsu, mostly because I was tired and heavier than I wanted to be, but the squat was something that was incredibly enjoyable, and I'll always look at that training block very fondly. During the time I enjoyed it, and looking back I still enjoy it. So it's incredibly interesting, the journey I've gone through in my own desire for what I want to train. But I suppose I am technically a member of the club. Not that I would term myself a hybrid athlete, but I have all the traits of that. So it is quite interesting. It is a very interesting rise in training, and I wouldn't begrudge anyone for wanting to do that. It's almost kind of an inherently natural thing to want to do, to be a bit more well rounded, to be maybe leaner, faster, fitter, stronger. It would make more sense as a human to want to gravitate towards that, not just focus on one particular aspect. However, like I say, there's huge enjoyment to be garnered from doing that one particular aspect. The reason I started this style of training block kind of at the start of this year was to maybe put a stopgap in between what I wanted to do with the rest of my training. So whether I would want to push that squat again, whether I'd want to go back to full-time weightlifting. And we're 6 months into the year, and this is the training block I'm currently in, and I'm pursuing goals based on that. So it was something that grew quite naturally over the course of that training block. It was originally a downtime between training, but quickly became the training I wanted to do. So I hope you're enjoying the training vlogs. I know I've been mostly putting up the weightlifting aspects, but this vlog you're watching here covers a lot of that training, and I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you are able to kind of identify what you want to do with training, and if you do, please let me know in the comments. I'm quite interested to see in regards to that. And if you have any problems, do let us know, because we will be making some more specific videos for that, because that's what you guys want to do, and we are here to help facilitate that style of training if that's what you guys want. So let me know your specific problems. If you consider yourself or bracket yourself in that hybrid athlete, let us know below, and we'll see what problems you guys are facing.